hit record as well.
Yes, and we are live. Kick it off, man.
All right. Oh, here it is. Hello. Episode 7? Episode 7.
Wow.
7 of these. That is amazing. Would you look at that, Cody?
Wait a minute. Highwaymen, Black Widow, Reminiscence, Suicide Squad. This is 7. We're missing 2. What else did we do?
We did Highwaymen, Tenant. Well, in order.
Oh, Tenant
Highwaymen,
as well. Yeah.
Highwaymen, Black Widow, Tenant, Suicide Squad, Wheelman, Reminiscence, and now Shang Chi.
Wow. It's going fast. All right, welcome everybody.
I will run out of the movies.
Yeah.
We have no more movies.
There's not a lot
Get
out there.
dry. Yeah, so episode 7, Shang-Chi, we actually had the opportunity by our own money in our pockets to go see Shang-Chi. This was an experience that I haven't had in a while.
Yeah,
Haven't been to a movie theater in a long time.
Yeah, haven't seen each other in person in a long time.
Right, haven't seen each other in person since high school.
Oh,
That was like
10
4 years ago.
At this point. 15, 10, it's a blur.
That's crazy, actually. We haven't seen each other in 4 years, and the one thing we did was just a firm handshake. That was it.
Yeah, well, I was like, let's do it. Firm handshake. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. So saw this in theaters. If you are in the Connecticut area and live near Trumbull, then go to Bowtie Cinemas on Tuesdays. They're normally pretty dead, and you get $7 tickets.
Yes.
So that's a prime time to go. There's a little insider secret for you.
It's probably all the bow ties.
Are there multiple bow ties?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Well, if there's a bow tie near you, go there on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
$7 tickets.
Yeah, multiple states actually.
Really?
Yeah, hey, this is a topic of interest. We do movie reviews. We got to talk about the cinemas you go to. That's important.
I mean, I've always gone to bow tie just because that's what was, closest.
Yeah. I mean,
I've been to the one at the Milford Mall, but
all right, you got. Wait, because you can tell if you go to locations, right? They got most in Connecticut, but we got Connecticut, Colorado, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia. Yeah.
Wow, so people in those areas.
Yeah, go to bow tie for those $7 tickets.
And we also had the opportunity to experience some great hecklers during the entirety of Shang-Chi.
I know, that was really annoying. I mean, the first joke they made was funny because when the movie started, they were like, "Cause I thought this was Batman versus Superman."
I didn't even find that funny.
I was like, "Well done, you get your one joke. Let's." And then, but the entire movie they wouldn't shut up. So that's when it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was like they're just having a full blown conversation. Like, what are you doing? You here to watch the movie?
I don't mind it when someone breaks the tension and like says something funny, but like after that, it was like they talked the entire time. So yeah, that was annoying. It's like, watch the movie.
But other than that, we walked out of the movie theater.
We did.
And it seemed, at least for me, that you were on the fence about the movie.
Well, I had to soak it in.
Okay, so
we'll leave it at that until. Oh, okay. After soaking it in. Well, I don't want to do numbers right off the bat. Let's leave that for later. But right now, as always, spoiler alert, we will be talking deep discussion. So if you have not seen Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, go watch it. And what I'll say right off the bat is it's worth a watch. So go watch it and then come back. Now I'll say, I really did enjoy it. I had heard rumors before I saw the movie, people discussing that this might have been the best solo character Marvel movie since Iron Man 1. I cannot give it that kind of praise, but it is good. I don't think you can top Iron Man with this. I like that's a very unique, you know, movie. That's the like
Mm,
John Favreau, director. That movie is on a whole level of its own. You know, setting the stage for 10 years of Marvel. But this is still really good.
right. Yeah.
I think there's some clear points that I'm gonna discuss with you, like problems I had,
Mm-hmm.
but and there may have been a character that I thought stole the stage in this movie.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, what would you like to go into first? I think set design and everything is really important to this one.
Yeah, I think for this movie, although it sort of follows, the formula Marvel has, I feel like it, and I said this to you on the way out. It's sort of a breath of fresh air for Marvel because it's taking a step back from all the Avengers that we've been seeing,
Mm.
and we've just been getting fed Avengers, movie after movie, and with this new solo movie, it's culturally different. Um, stylistically, I feel like it's a little different, and I think it's going in the right direction because now we're not really going to see Iron Man anymore. The Avengers stuff, who knows where it's going to go. Things are probably going to start leading more into the multiverse and whatever. So it's going to start to get crazy. But I like the way that Shang Chi was done. Um, and I wonder where it was filmed because the whole set design, the use of CG in this movie, I almost forgot about it, to be honest. The only time I was probably, I mean, I go in with the mindset of Marvel movies anyway. It's not going to be the most realistic thing, obviously, because it's all superheroes. But the only time I probably felt like the CG kind of lacked, well, not lacked, but almost pulled me out was the water simulations. I'm no like CG expert or anything like that, but the water simulations I could tell were just
Like when they put
CG.
it in the gems to find the map.
Yeah, and it was only that time where it was flowing out and down onto that little patio thing that I was like, eh.
I thought that looked pretty good. There were
I
some
like the
CG
bullet
moments that
time.
were really blurry. You can tell, but
Yeah,
I don't think it was too bad.
but overall, like,
A lot better than
I'm gonna.
Black Widow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
This was like leagues
yeah,
above Black
yeah.
Widow
Which sucks because
because she's a loved character.
well, that was a fun one because that was the first time we watched a movie. That was the we watched that together. That was a fun experience because that was the first. That's memorable just because it was the first Marvel project I had seen in a long time because of the pandemic. But yeah, that had high expectations after a lot of delays, and I think this movie is definitely way more rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow at this point just feels so out of place. That movie, just like it's not something I'd rewatch. This
Yeah,
I'd
because
watch again.
yeah. I mean, I feel like there's possibly a lot to break down within this movie that there's just we can't really get to it, but
Yeah, I mean, so in terms of set, from my point of view, I thought everything was so like I loved the set design. I loved the costumes, the color choices, especially the I guess the alter because their mom's village. So I should get a cast list up here because there's some really good acting.
I'm just trying to see where the
Um,
filming locations. Obviously, we know
yeah,
it was San Francisco
the
and Macau. What the
Shang
heck?
Chi's mom, her village that's in another dimension, really good, like design. Like the creatures looked really good. The environment looked really cool. Everything looked so peaceful. Like they really wanted you to make. They really wanted you to think it was this amazing paradise that you couldn't believe that the father was trying to, destroy it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's definitely some characters I want to bring up later, but in terms of set design, really good. I really liked it. I think there were some corny moments where, you know, like you didn't really get to learn much about the village. They were just like, oh, it's been here like thousands of years, like welcome, and then like
Magical.
all of a sudden, the old man who's training people has like a witty joke all of a sudden, like for no reason, and like I maybe it's just because I'm a long time Marvel viewer, but like to me those like moments they have planned for theater where there's a joke and then when the punchline happens there's no audio because they expect the audience to laugh. I had mentioned this in Black Widow. It's kind of getting old for me. Like there were some clear corny theater jokes here that, you know, when we talk about this, and the reason I'm comparing it to Iron Man is because that's what people are talking about, is because is it I don't know, it just there's some parts of this movie that fall too much into the stereotypical Marvel format that I think this movie has so much potential. The problem is there's so much to unravel in the time they give you to watch it that they can't even tell you everything about what's going on, you know? They're setting up this like another dimension, a whole family history. There's just so much going on that, you know, I could have done away with the cheesy jokes, and if you had given me even more of those back, like the background lore.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a rant, I guess, but yeah, there's that's because the reason I didn't want to review it right when we left was because there's just so much in this movie that I had to wrap my head around it. You know,
There is a lot going on. And I mean, I would say the one upset for me, I had no problem with the way that they did things. You know, I didn't really. I feel like they tried to dabble and fit everything within 2 hours and what was it, 2 hours and 13 minutes.
yeah,
I feel like we'll probably learn more as it goes on. He's a new character. I haven't heard of him before. Not that I'm really into the comic book side of Marvel, but um, the only thing I really just wanted to see him more with the rings. Like I wanted to see him utilize the rings a little bit more. I feel like when he got them, they didn't really. He wasn't doing too much with them. He was just kind of like doing stuff sometimes. And the one big thing he did was kill that dragon, which I almost feel like that whole thing wasn't as tense as it could be. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like
well, it looked really good. Like it looked
visually,
menacing.
yeah.
Like
Visually, everything.
They didn't explain it. They were just like, you just got a quick cutscene where the aunt was like, "Oh yeah, big ancient evil, and he's bad. He wants to kill us all, so you have to kill it." And it was like once again falling into that Marvel formula, where it's like, this could have been another half an hour longer. Like I would have appreciated, like, because everything that happened was fine. I just wanted more background to it, because they set up this amazing alternate dimension with all these creatures and enemies, and then of course there was the other dimension behind the barrier that the dad was trying to get to. All really cool stuff. It just was explained so quickly, and it was like, part of it feels like obviously Marvel we're going into phase 4. They want to introduce new characters, new realms, and I'm afraid that this movie and the Eternals are going to suffer from the fact that, like, Iron Man, we had 3 movies and multiple.
Well, same thing with Thor.
And like Doctor Strange.
All the people had 3 movies, like all of the originals, besides Hawkeye, who has nothing.
If like even Ant-Man did a lot of in-depth explaining of the characters' pasts and everything, and I felt like this was just like don't get me wrong, we did get.
It's the first movie.
I know, but we got these explanations, and then they were like, by the end of the movie, he's already joining the Avengers, and he doesn't give it's not like he gives this thing where he's like, I need to do this, I need to save the world with the Avengers. They're just like, welcome to the team, and he's like, okay, new life, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, that's what bugged me, was how fast everything went. We went from we went from kid struggling with his past to gotta avenge my mom to I'm an Avenger now within like a little over 2 hours. And it was, even the
Yeah.
other characters, it took them a lot of time and thinking to do something like join the Avengers or to get over their trauma. It took
Are you talking about when Wang came to pick him up?
yeah, because it took like
But is he part of the Avengers?
no, but he's got this greater journey with the Avengers team. I don't even know if they're. Let's be honest, we don't even know if they're called the Avengers anymore after Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what they're called now? But it's
I mean,
I don't
they're probably still
necessarily
the
think
Avengers, but
I don't necessarily think Wang is part of the Avengers.
oh, wait, Wong?
Wong, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, Wong is definitely an Avenger.
So Doctor Strange is an Avenger?
Doctor Strange is an Avenger.
How? Why
Okay,
is he an Avenger?
Because that's like the thing.
But they never
You're
inducted
right.
him.
I mean, I'm just thinking comic wise. But no, they're all like.
Is he an Avenger in the comics?
What I meant was, I'm just saying a lot. What I meant was, it's a lot, and it's really fast. And we went, his character arc just got completed in one movie. I feel like, and that's another thing is Shang-Chi doesn't talk a lot.
Mm-hmm. I almost feel like, and actually, you know what? This ties into what you want to say about the character that took over. So let's talk about the character that you think took over and took the light away from Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Because I have a comment that is relating to that.
Okay. The his father, who he has multiple names. He was the Mandarin. He is the best part for me. The best part of the movie. Like, he steals the stage. Hands down. I mean, I think there's more backstory on his dad than him. And he's such a good character. And he kind of goes, I mean, I like the way he goes out, like where he just kind of like acknowledges his mistake and then like grants him the rings. But yeah, no, that was my favorite part of this movie was the Mandarin.
Yeah. So I feel like this almost takes the new trilogy Star Wars route, at least personally for me, because with the new trilogy of Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, all those.
I didn't think
movies,
about that.
It's the whole time, at least for me, it's all about the last Skywalker, and it's never Rey. I'm just saying this now. It was never Rey. I don't care what the hell people say. It's all about Kylo Ren. He's the last, person that has Skywalker blood or whatever. So he was the last one to come up and be Ben Solo, Ben whatever the hell you want to call it. And Rey is just some random person. In this movie, obviously I feel like this whole movie sort of sets up the backstory for the rings. And then, Shang-Chi is just the one that gets him in the end. Because we have to learn where the rings come from, who had the rings previously, and who has them now. So it almost makes sense that his father, we learn a lot about the backstory of his father and the lifespan of the rings, and Shang-Chi just has them now. Like we learn a little bit about Shang-Chi. We learn enough about Shang-Chi to feel connected to him, but it's really about the father's arc because we see the father go from the tyrant to a father figure who's in love to somebody who lost that figure and has gone back to his old ways, and then has forgiven or has come to the resolution and gave up his power to give it to his son. So it's almost like the arc is all about the father all along, and Shang-Chi's there for the ride.
Yeah, because it's not like he earns them. It's he I mean, his aunt teaches him one special trick to beat his dad, and I mean his dad grants them to him because yeah, you don't.
Well, he says earlier in the movie too, like he's gonna give up the rings, at a point where he feels like his
son is ready. Yeah,
his son is ready to protect them, or whatever he says specifically.
Yeah,
but
but it's like, I mean, I'm not mad about it. It was really good. Like
But
the
if you look at the movie in that light, though, following the father, and then you learn a little bit about Shang Chi and his life, I think that makes the movie better.
yeah, I mean, because now
I
you're
mean,
thinking,
that's yeah. What were
because
you
now
saying?
he's going off his dad's legacy, because he's like, my dad's lived for thousands of years doing evil things, and now I have to somehow live with this immortality and do the right thing.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the idea that instead of like being 100, like Thor was like, Thor had to become worthy. Shang Chi just had to kick his dad's ass and eventually inherit the rings, you know. But
But that in his dad's eyes makes him worthy
yeah, so I guess now we're gonna
because
see
he could
him live
never
up
beat
to
his
it.
dad before that. He could never beat his dad before that.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
because that's why I thought the fight was weird. It's like Shang Chi trained from childhood to now, to being an assassin. Actually, probably hasn't fought in a long time, and he's like in his 20s, able to go toe to toe with someone who's been alive for thousands of years using these rings. That's like the where like the kind of the Marvel power levels don't make
oh,
sense to me.
you think he should have just been like he should have just gotten destroyed?
I mean, come on, the guy's been alive for at least 1,000 years. Like you're telling me he can't? I don't know.
Yeah, but he has an older body.
No, but it's not. It's like it. He's a.
Physically, he's
I
older.
know,
It
but
doesn't
the
matter if
rings
he's
make him.
immortal.
The rings give him enhanced physical abilities, and he's immortal. So like,
But you gotta have the dragon's heart,
yeah,
Cody.
that's the. It's you. As long as you have the dragon's heart, you can do anything. And you know that, like I said, ties to what I said earlier. That didn't make sense, but the Marvel formula is just really it's showing here. That's why I hope um, Eternals looks very different from what we're used to, and I hope that kind of
Yeah, it
strays away from
does.
the formula.
It does
So,
look. It does look really different.
um,
But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens because this is like a group
yeah,
of
I mean,
people. You
Trevor.
know.
I was gonna say we saw Trevor return, the guy who played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. That was very cool. I didn't think he'd come back, and I love how they mentioned because everyone was like, "Well, you can't do the Mandarin now because you ruined him," but now they have, they made it official. They had, even the real Mandarin was like, "Yeah, they tried to imitate me to scare America in a terrorist attack," which is really cool. I think there's a character. There's another character. There's two other characters that we have to talk about. Um, don't you think Razor Fist was just kind of like a stereotypical henchman?
Yes,
It was just like so cheap.
he's the only white guy in the movie.
Yeah,
Besides that friend's boyfriend, that's the only white guy in the
he's
movie.
always just like, yes, yes, boss, and he just, you know,
And I
yes.
feel like I mean, if a whole blade can form out of that hand or nub thing that he has, why not just have a hand form out of it so he can use that arm?
Because the blade is cooler and you can slice people.
But why not? I mean, if like you
I don't think
can't
he has the
just switch
techno.
between them, you can't switch.
I don't know. I don't think they have the access to Iron Man level technology. Duh. Okay, another. Okay, there's an obvious side character who we have discussed, who sometimes feels like they don't belong.
Okay.
The his best friend Katie,
Yeah.
who her name
She's
is,
comedic relief, I feel like.
yeah, but it's like there's some really awesome serious moments, and then she makes a joke and ruins it, and you're like, ah, like this movie with the like I would have appreciated a more serious tone to this movie.
Hmm.
Like I feel like the Marvel comedic side is so like forced, and it works. It like obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, it works perfectly, but there's so much
Because they set it up like that.
there's so much rich lore to Shang Chi that we've learned about that we were getting that awesome like this is obviously on purpose, but we were getting that obvious the backstory about his childhood and having to kill somebody, and then remember they're in the plane, and he gets interrupted, stuff like that. It was more annoying than funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that bit on the plane was a bit overdone.
Oh, you're
They
cutting out.
treated it differently,
There you go. Oh, you're cutting out again. You're not there.
but my hold on, my microphone. It could just be my Wi-Fi going in and out, but my microphone, like the cord that connects into it,
Oh.
just like it keeps sliding out somehow.
Mm.
So I don't know what's wrong with it, but so yeah, the bit about them ordering food and they got the vegetarian option and then they were out of the vegetarian option. She's like, all we have is beef, and she's like, so what do you want? You want? She's like, I'll have beef. And she's like, okay, one beef, and then she's like, for you, it's like beef. It's like, okay, you already asked them what they wanted for dinner, and if you only have beef, obviously the one answer is going to be beef. So you don't have to play it out and do this whole thing about what meal they're going to eat on the plane when all your options are just beef. So I mean, yeah, I can understand like sort of the humor that got drawn out and sort of disconnected from everything.
Yeah, like there's these
But,
really.
you gotta. Oh my god! Wait a second.
What?
I'm okay. So I have Rotten Tomatoes open, and they classified this movie as action, and sports and fitness.
Okay, it's all the martial arts, I guess. Um,
Sports and fitness. Okay.
yeah, there's just they do such a good job at setting up all this lore and backstory, and I'm just repeating myself at this point. I'm tired of the mixing serious tone and comic. Like there's too much comedy for me in this. They could have kept it serious because they don't have a lot of those. I mean, maybe they wanted to make it funny because Endgame was so serious, but you know, that was my biggest problem was the tone just flipped back and forth so much.
I mean, personally, I didn't mind it. I don't know. I enjoyed the movie.
No, don't get me
Um,
wrong. I love
no,
this movie.
I know you enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
Like, I just thought, I think everything they did was really good, and for having the pandemic as an issue for filming and things like that, I think the movie that they produced is really good compared to what happened with Black Widow.
mm.
Um, so this is sort of a revival for Marvel.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
in that sense.
obviously. I think I've ranted a lot this episode. I'm getting a little overcritical, but I tend to be like that with Marvel because they're sitting at such a high pedestal because of Endgame and Infinity War, and I love them for all the stuff they've done, and you know, I don't
Yeah.
want them to, because they know it works, but part of me is like, oh, if you do it too much, it's gonna get old. The other part of me is like, oh, keep it the way it is, because that's Marvel. So it's it's easy to
Right.
just watch a Marvel movie and be like, oh, it's amazing.
Hmm. Like everyone's a hit.
Yeah,
Every single
and
movie's a hit. Can't go wrong.
yeah. So I try to be devil's advocate when it comes to Marvel. So
No, and I think we should hold them to a high standard because
yeah,
at the end of the day, yeah, they are a, a, a series that everybody loves, and but at the end of the day, this movie is also meant for probably younger kids. Maybe they could make it somehow fit to the older demographic that's watching it, but it's just one of those superhero movies, and we hold it to a high standard because we're really into it and things like that.
yeah.
Um, but overall, set wise, amazing. New cultural aspects, seeing things that we haven't seen in a Marvel movie in a long time is also really refreshing. The CGI was really great.
Yeah, the forest CGI was really good.
Yep, very immersive.
Yeah.
I really thought that a forest made out of like a bamboo forest could really do that. Like that looked really good.
Yeah.
Everything about the movie I would say is almost and if we're breaking it down set wise and whatever, like I'd say a good portion of the movie would almost get perfect scores from me.
Yeah. I was
Um,
anticipating more fight scenes than we got.
yeah, because they were really focused on it.
I just didn't realize how short this movie was. When I looked it up when we were meeting up, I was like, wow, 2 hours, 12 minutes. I was expecting like 2.5 at least. You know?
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, everything they did is just so good that, that's probably why I'm complaining the most is like, I wanted a longer movie. It's like, there's so much to unpack. This can easily get another sequel.
And it will. I think it will. I mean,
Yeah.
based off of the ratings it got, I think it definitely will.
Yeah.
Speaking about ratings, you mentioned Iron Man 1, and I think you're going to find this pretty interesting.
Don't tell
So
me it did better.
Iron Man
Yeah.
has a 94% fresh, certified fresh Rotten Tomato,
Yeah.
and an audience score of 91%.
Yeah. Shang-Chi's sitting at a 92 tomato meter fresh and certified fresh and audience 98. 98. That
Oh
is
my God, Cody.
ridiculous.
And
Well, don't forget.
on IMDb, Iron Man sits at a 7.9 out of 10, and Shang-Chi sits at a 7.9 out of 10.
Yeah. But, like, that was... Here's the thing. I'll say that... Yeah, they're both really, 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 really good. And I think the reason audience score would be lower on Iron Man is because at that time, the whole idea of this kind of thing was new still. Besides like Spider-Man, like a comic book based movies.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder what the highest rated Marvel movie is.
yeah, there's no doubt this sits really high on the list of Marvel movies. That's why I was being so critical, because you gotta nitpick when it comes to Marvel stuff if you want to find the flaws. I mean, and a lot of the flaws are just they're usually like something that works but you're tired of.
Wow, Thor: Dark World, lowest rating. So let's see here. I want to know what the highest one is. Just
Endgame or Infinity War.
Black Panther, 96%.
I don't know, man. That had some CGI problems, but yeah, that was a really good movie. I don't know if I'd put it. I don't know if I think I'd put Shang-Chi above that though.
That's number one. So
Yeah.
at least that's critic review. Endgame is 94%. Iron Man 94%. Thor Ragnarok 93.
That was really good.
Spider-Man Homecoming 92.
That's a whole other topic. I don't want to get into that.
But so let's see. I want to do IMDb first because we always do IMDb first.
Sure.
Wow. This put it up on the stream.
It's true.
Because this curve, if people have paid attention to the bell curves of all these reviews that we show on stream, they're normally pretty they normally follow a trend.
Yeah, they vary.
This one's very skewed. This one's a skewed curve. And I wonder why. I want to know what the 1.8% thought that gave it a 1. But
probably
majority went 8 to 10. That's interesting.
Mm.
Um, a lot of people gave it a 10. So let's see. It really resonated with females. Surprisingly, I didn't think that this movie would necessarily gear
Well, did you
towards
notice?
females, but
Did you notice they did not make the best? They did not make Katie a sexual interest. That's the
yeah.
first time they've ever done that. Really, like I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. It's even the sister. They didn't make any.
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, I'm not an expert on Asian culture, but
Oh yeah,
with
they
that
also.
culture, that's something that you normally don't. You don't over sexualize women
No, I
in
meant
Asian
like
culture, so they follow that trend. I think.
I meant Marvel movies have been doing that less and less. They used to do it a lot with the earlier ones,
Yeah.
and so they've been doing. Besides, that is another point to bring up is that this movie, like just like Black Panther, both okay. This movie and Black Panther, both really good no matter what, but also the amount of reviews or the amount of like high ratings will also be tweaked a little bit just because of political presence, I guess is the way to put it. This is the first Marvel movie with a Asian lead superhero.
Oh, actually,
So
IMDb has Black Panther rated lower than
yeah,
Shang-Chi.
but you know what I mean, right? Like that's gonna change, not a lot, but it is gonna affect people's opinions of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, regardless of that, it's still really good. I mean, but you have to consider that, especially with the Marvel movies, because they're so worldwide.
Wow. A lot of people are calling it, user review wise, like a beautiful movie in terms of um, the martial arts aspect and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
like
here's a 4 out of 10 review.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. What's up with these extreme positive reviews? I watched this movie after Twitter was claiming it to be the best movie ever, so I went with high expectations. After watching what I found is after watching what I found is movie was mediocre at best. The CGI was great, but apart from it, everything is just okay at the best. I didn't connect with any character at all. To be honest, wait for the film to come on streaming services. Not worth it to go to the cinema.
Hmm.
Um,
I think, and
I do want to talk about the cinema stuff, but here's a 2 out of 10. Sorry to cut you off again.
there you
Stop Disneying our Marvel, damn it. Couple of things. One,
go.
the actors are made of plastic. I know it wasn't a CGI cartoon, but the actors were so one-dimensional it may as well have been. Have never seen live actors display the uncanny valley. 2, feels a lot more like a Disney film and less like a Marvel superhero movie. 3, it was super form
Formulated.
form he uses a weird word, formulaic.
Whatever.
Aquafina, who is Katie,
She's a rapper, by the way.
was as usually not funny, and every little chuckle was super forced.
That's really true.
Damn. Overall, it had some good choreography, but you can get that in any other kung fu movie. Kind of makes you wonder why so much money was spent on a very, very, very template movie. Kind of lame.
I mean, that brings back to the idea that I was so excited to see a lot of good, like, martial arts and fighting, and there wasn't a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it was so, yeah, there was a lot of cutaways and stuff for the fighting, too. There was, like, the bus scene was really good. The final fight with the dad was okay. Yeah, this movie has so much potential. I think, sadly, even though the movie is still really good, I think reviews are pumped up because of how important this is politically.
My God, this guy wrote a long one. But keep going.
Well, yeah, that's basically it. It's just a really good movie. Reviews are definitely a little pumped up just because of its presence. There are clear flaws that I think people are ignoring. and the main ones are like we said, not enough fighting, the Disney formula, the
Mm.
the really uncalled for, or at least the comedy relief that just interrupts all the awesome serious moments with like the awesome lore they want to show you. Um, I thought Katie would have this awesome character arc where she becomes the archer at the end and like gets really serious and realizes she found a purpose in her life. But she keeps making a joke out of it until the guy who taught her everything dies. Like, it's like, oh my god. So,
I want to read this one because it says my review
Yeah,
keeps getting deleted. This is the 10th attempt.
I've been talking a lot. This is all you.
As I stated in the title, this is the 10th time I'm posting a review, and it's probably going to be the 9th time it's reported by the large group of individuals trying to swing the ratings. In any case, this movie is what it is. It just so happens that what it is bad. The writing is predictable. It's very far from traditional source material. Worst of all, though, it is that it doesn't even feel connected to the MCU, regardless of cameos. It's like a studio that does one summer action fillers, has something over Kevin Feige, and threatened to release it unless they got to do one. It's also the only Marvel film I've ever seen two large groups of teenagers and young adults get up and leave around halfway through. Interesting. All in all, it's been done so. Now at least it can be ticked off the list of Marvel Studio obligations. Oh my god, dude. You're going to listen to this one. Somehow, even Tenet managed to have more personality. That's the title of this one.
I mean, Shang-Chi doesn't talk a lot. He just has these big emotional moments. I don't know. There's not a lot of character development for the main character. His dad is the coolest part.
They just called one of your favorite movies.
Hey, one of yours
gave it a
too.
9.2. Saying it lacked personality. I mean, whatever. But I want to see. We can click on here. Can we see there? They only reviewed this one. Did they even review Tenet? They didn't even review Tenet. They gave Black Widow a 1. Suicide Squad a 10. Mortal Kombat a 4. Boss Level with the guy from Wheelman a 6. And Tomorrow War a 7.
I wanted to do Boss Level.
And they gave Shang-Chi a 1. I don't know. They seem very skewed.
Yeah, that's really skewed.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with some of these people that are saying some of those reviews. I like looking at the user reviews. Let's look at some of the Metacritics.
The one thing that stood out amongst those, which I think rings true, is that this has like so much obvious potential that falls into the whole thing of like the Marvel formula or like the Disney formula. I agree with that statement. It feels like Disney had so much say in this. And even what I didn't notice, what you mentioned, was it does follow that Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader thing, you know?
Well, are you talking about Rey and Kylo in the
just like Luke
new trilogy?
It's so Disney. I feel like Marvel didn't get enough say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens in the later movies, but
I feel like with all the crap that I said, people are going to be surprised with my high rating. Because I'm just frustrated by the things that I know Marvel will always do, but I'll be like, it's still good. Whatever.
It's still good.
They got my money already. What am I complaining about?
And I feel like it has to be brought up is that Black Panther and Shang-Chi are both introducing characters of their first, race or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to be hyped up about that, which could lead to them just being so excited about it and giving the movie a high rating. not saying that that's a bad thing to do.
No, it's
You know,
it's
great.
not a
It's
bad thing
great
at
that
all.
everybody's getting their representation in whatever now in superhero movies, because that is something that is definitely needed.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to rate a movie just because it introduces a new character and they're excited about it, because
Yeah, I think we've
at
both
the end of the day we got to
acknowledged.
strip it down to what the entertainment value is, how well everything was produced, and obviously Marvel's going to put out a lot of visually beautiful movies, and I would even argue that Black Widow was a visually nice movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
for
say
sure.
that anything there was bad. It's just timing or whatever on their end. But a lot of these things are going to be hyped up because of an introduction of a new character or whatever it may be. And they're trying to target a certain audience with these things, and maybe that those particular audiences that they were trying to reach, it did it for them at the end of the day. But I'm still going to give this a pretty high rating, I think.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The movie, like the character, like the movie's great. The lore is great. The world they have introduced is great. It's just that, you know, it's still got production and script things that need to be discussed and reviewed properly. But yeah, that is a little annoying that like, you know, the reviews are going to be higher because of its, political importance. But, and it's hard not to give it a higher review if you're, if you're looking for that. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you just got to like be like, whatever, it is what it is,
Yeah, I mean, all right. So let's get into rating it.
it is what it is. So we're going to end that off on it. It is what it is.
Get into rating it.
Wow, I feel like I have done a lot of complaining this movie. I feel drained, but you want to start off the bat, or am I?
I could start it off.
I want to hear yours first.
All right. I don't. I think the tomato scores are
Go back to that.
pretty high, especially the audience score. I think the audience score is very high. At a 98%, just to remind you all, 98% audience score. A 9. I'm gonna just translate it to out of 10. A 9.2 out of 10, I would say, is also fairly high. I think IMDb has some more.
I agree with them.
I guess yeah, they're a bit more level headed at IMDb. They kind of look into things a little bit more than Rotten Tomatoes does. I think Rotten Tomatoes is very, I guess, progressive with their ratings, and they just kind of look for, they base it off of a lot, but
Yeah,
IMDb kind of looks into things a little bit more.
that's because Rotten Tomatoes is like everybody, and IMDb is like they're like, welcome, we're movie reviewers. Oh. They're very strict with their reviews.
So I'm just gonna see here. Let's see. I fall with the majority, and I'm just gonna give a straight out score of an 8.
An 8 out of 10. He gave it an 8. Oh my god.
I'm going with the majority.
Oh my god.
Going with the median.
The median
8.
man over here. Oh my god.
8. What do you give it?
You know what? I'd almost give it an 8.5. I mean, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not a 7. It's not a 7. It's better than a 7. It's definitely not a 10. It really is between an 8 and a 9 on this because it's so good. I mean, you know what? You know what really makes it amazing
More
to
harsh
me?
than you think.
the dad is the best part of this movie. The actor who plays him, it would not be the same movie without him. Like he is what kept me entertained this entire time. Like the guy has been around 1,000 years. He has these rings he got out of either, because in the comics it's from a spaceship, like it's a crashed spaceship of a species from the next galaxy over. They're like dragons basically, and it's like technology from their ship. But
Right.
so I'm guessing. Well, who knows? Marvel changes things all the time, but he is so interesting that he feels like the main character the entire time, and it feels like you're getting to see his son become the main character and take his place.
Yep.
And
So
the dad's fighting with the rings is so cool. I don't know, man. It's an 8.5 or it's an 8, and I.
all right, well, let's meet in the middle. We'll do a 8.35.
That's too complicated. 8 point. It's got some. I'll be an 8. Let's go with an 8 on that.
I mean, no,
a shared 8.
Come
No,
on, be in
because
the middle.
come on, with all
8.3.
Dude,
8.3 in the middle.
I did like 90% of the ranting today. There's a reason for it.
8.3 in the middle. We're
Fine,
going with
8.3. 8.3. It's a good movie. It's worth watch. I'd watch it twice.
Is this a favorite?
Is it a favorite? Would it be for you? Yeah, exactly. See,
Now, the way that I do favorites is I would watch them again.
Did you put Suicide Squad as a favorite?
No.
Really? Okay.
No, we didn't.
What are favorites right now?
Literally just Highwayman and Tenet.
Okay. Okay. See, I didn't.
And with the rating of Shang-Chi compared to our other two favorites, it would make sense for it to be a favorite.
I say that movies that you'd watch twice are not favorites. Favorites are movies that you will probably watch. Favorites are movies you'll watch over and over if it's on. Oh, look what's on.
Now,
that kind of thing.
The thing with Marvel movies is, with me personally, is that I don't think I will ever have a favorite Marvel movie because they are, well, actually no, that's
Iron Man.
That's a lie because I do have a favorite.
Iron Man 3 is mine.
I do have a favorite Marvel movie.
What is it? Doctor Strange.
It's Doctor Strange. Yeah.
That's a favorite right there. That's an amazing movie.
Most Marvel movies I'm not gonna have as a favorite just because I'm watching it for the grand story. So like I don't have one that's a favorite, because it's part of a larger picture. Whereas Doctor Strange was its own thing, and I really like Benedict Cumberbatch, and I like the whole storyline of his powers. He has to work for his powers. He's not just given them.
That's a really good movie. So is like Iron Man 1 and 3 are are personal favorites of mine that I'd rewatch over and over. 3 especially.
Now, with Shang-Chi almost has the same, I guess, method as Doctor Strange in terms of his character. He doesn't have powers like naturally. He had to work to get better with his martial arts skill. He had to, quote unquote, prove himself to his dad. So I think that, I don't know, because I would only watch this again. I would only watch this again, just with like my girlfriend.
Yeah, this is
something like that's the only other time I would watch this again. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it any other time.
We both need to say yes for it to be a favorite, and I'm telling you right now, I'd watch it again, but it's not a favorite. I would not watch this back to back to back if I had the opportunity. Yeah. Like,
wow, our favorites list is tough to get on.
No, you You have to be so rewatchable that I'll be talking about you for the next 5 to 10 years. I'll have a DVD in my room. I'll show it to my kids. Like, it's got to be like one of your favorite movies of all time to be a favorite. You know?
Yeah. All right, so not on the favorites list,
but still a really, really, really good movie, worth a watch, and maybe twice. Like, I think at this point,
go out there and watch it.
I think at this point, our rating system, besides a number, is no watch, one watch, two watch, favorite. You know, because
I think we are giving fair scores on this, though.
No,
like we're kind of almost in line with IMDb. You know, like Wheelman got a 6.4. We gave it a 7. We liked it. You know,
what if
it's not just one of us rating it. You know, we're kind of just going off and doing it for ourselves. You know, even we gave Reminiscence 1.1 point less than what IMDb gave. I mean, you know, we're not biased in any way. We're looking at things.
Well, the problem is we look at these. What if, like, you don't think it's a problem we look at these reviews before we rate it? Like, what if we started giving it a quick rating ourselves and then look at the grand scheme?
Well, but I like reading the reviews.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think because I was thinking about what I would rate this earlier, and I haven't looked at I don't look at the numbers for the reviews until we actually, you know, sit down.
No, that's true. I knew what I was going to rate it pretty much. I knew the ballpark of where I was going to rate it.
And after we watch the movie, either if we're at home or if we go to the theaters, I'm already thinking about what I would want to rate it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not influenced by anything other than you know, what I think of it to be after I watch the movie. All right, so we have one quick thing to talk about, and then we should probably...
Yeah, we're getting close to an hour here, folks. There's a lot to break down in this one. Stuff we're not going to be able to get into just because it's so much content in such a short movie, and I think that's another reason it's brought down. Yeah, apologies. That might have been a very long, ranty review, but when it comes to Marvel movies, there's just a lot going on. Let's talk about something that I think a lot of Marvel fans are talking about right now, specifically Spider-Man fans. We know No Way Home is coming out eventually. We have a trailer for it, and we have a scene in the trailer that villains previously featured in past Spider-Man movies are coming back. So I'm going to put it on screen. I don't know the consequences of this. There is a leaked video claimed to be a deep fake by some. Credit to this YouTuber. Rest in peace. Copyright.
So if you full screen it doesn't necessarily... There you go.
It's okay. So see, look, people... So this is claimed to be from the set of No Way Home. And personally, after a lot of, looking at it, I don't think it's fake. I think at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel planted this because it's such high resolution that, they'd be like, all right, give them something to keep discussing the movie and keep wondering if this is real. That's what I think this is. Because, people were talking about his stomach moving, his shoulders moving. It doesn't look deep fake. He's got a mustache. He looks a little older than when he filmed the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Is this mustache going to be in the movie?
I don't know.
Will Andrew Garfield?
It's not like a mustache. It's just like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow.
Well, look. So if anybody watches a lot of Corridor Digital and their deep fakes, and maybe they'll go into this. Look at the lighting on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the lighting on his face.
Yeah.
Compared to the lighting around him. Like, if that were a deep fake, I feel like the lighting is not going to be that good.
No, everything's spot on.
There would be some sort of clipping. His, something would have to be obviously wrong because deep fakes are not at that level yet. Where they could look that good. And even Corridor Digital, who, puts a lot of time and effort into their deep fakes, it's not even gonna look that good. Even the one that they did, the Tom Cruise deep fake that they did,
that was really good. Yeah.
Even that was a really good deep fake, but even that was not, you know,
No, I mean you can see
up to
his
par.
you can see his stomach moving, his shoulders
Stomach's
move.
moving.
Like
I think play it again. No, like from the beginning. I don't watch it all 3 seconds of it.
you want to do slow motion?
Slow it down. Slow it down.
We'll do half speed. Look at that. It's look. Bottom left of the frame. I never even noticed that. Look at the hands. That's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suit.
Is it?
Yeah, because his webbing.
I was thinking it was a Spider-Man suit, but I couldn't tell if that was somebody's
It looks
actual hands. Hold on, go back to the beginning.
Play it back. My God, it's Jason Bourne. Yeah. No, it looks too real. It's not. I've watched another video where it's like, because it's 8K, they zoom it in on his face, and his face it looks too good.
Just play it out. Play it out in slow motion, like real slow.
Okay, as slow as it gets.
Yeah, as slow as it gets. Really draw it out.
Really draw this out.
Yeah. Is that it? Yeah, 0.25. Yeah.
It's
Look at that.
I'm telling you, man, it's like at this point, if they're not in the movie, I don't know what Marvel's gonna do, because people have been speculating, hyping. Oh God, it's delivered. People have been speculating, and basically they know that this is happening, especially now that Green Goblin, Electro, Doc Ock is in it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt in my mind that they're in it. So it's just interesting to see this, because no one has an 8K camera on a cell phone. This was probably a set camera that Marvel used to leak it.
Yeah, and click on this guy's YouTube channel. I want to see, because he has 1.65 thousand subscribers. So what makes this guy qualified to have this type of footage? You know, go click. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching from the stream, so it's almost like
that's it, man.
This is the guy's literally only video.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, come on. Go to the channel. Is there a channel description or anything?
No channel description. They've been on here for 7 years. No content besides this. Look at the description of the video, actually. Official footage of Andrew Garfield No Way Home set in 4K and 8K. That's it. Let's look at the comments.
Donda.
and I read a lot of comments. Look, Sony leaked this on purpose just so they can see Andrew struggle as much as possible while keeping it secret. Because, first of all, if you watch interviews of Toby and Andrew talking about it, they both are like, no, no glue, I don't know what you're talking about. But people are starting to believe it so much that used to get comments of like, fake, it's fake. But like with this video, dude, I've gone through a lot of comments. They're all like, you know, making jokes about like Andrew freaking out because they actually have footage of him now.
Yeah, because he went on Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy was like grilling him on
this.
Yeah. If he was in the movie or whatever, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't see any cameras." Blah blah blah. So.
Yeah, dude, it's real, Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield is a lot better about hiding stuff than Tom.
Oh, I mean, Tom sucks at it. He's leaked so much stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's.
We think it's real. I think it's real.
I think it's real.
They're going to be in the movie.
If they're not in the movie, we gotta review that to hell. Instant one if they're not in the movie at this point. Yeah.
So the next movie, I think we both said that we were just gonna review this, but I think one that could make it into the favorites category.
We talking Free Guy?
Huh?
Free Guy?
No, I do want to see Free Guy.
Yeah, me too.
But let's do a movie that has been out.
Oh, doing a classic that we okay.
Not,
No, it's
not
fair.
like an older classic.
I'd be down.
But this movie got the man the award that he deserves the most. And you can pick another movie if you want, or we can bounce ideas.
No. I picked Wheelman, so we both agreed on Reminiscence, but it's your turn to pick one. So
I think we should watch The Revenant.
Really, I've never seen it.
You've never seen it,
dude? You'd be seeing my first reaction.
This could be a Tenet effect.
I knew you were talking Leonardo DiCaprio when you said
this could be a Tenet effect. Here.
It's funny how you know it's Leonardo DiCaprio when someone's like, "Oh, he finally got it. He finally got what?"
So,
it's like.
So this is the movie that got him, I believe, a Grammy. I think. This is the movie that earned him the Grammy. So,
yeah,
the bar is set high. I've seen this movie once, back when it came out.
What's the premise?
So it's on Hulu.
A frontierman on a fur trading expedition in the 1820s fights for survival after being mauled by a bear and left for dead by members of his own hunting party. Interesting.
So I think you'll be talking about this movie for days, like you did with Tenet, and you're gonna get it really into it and whatever.
Really? Okay. I trust you. We seem to have similar taste in movies. Is it based on a true story or is it completely fiction?
I don't remember.
Let's see. Oh, it's based on a true story, but there's actually like paintings of them. It's a fictionalized account inspired by the story of Hugh Glass' grisly attack on his survival and search for revenge. It's not intended to be the real true story.
No, just probably like inspired by.
But yeah, that's still interesting. Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. Is it a horror movie?
No.
Okay.
No, it's what is it classified as? Action adventure drama.
No, I'm amazing actor. Inception is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a favorite right there. So, no, I'm definitely down for that.
All right,
cool.
So we'll pick out a time, probably maybe next week or something.
Yeah.
Square that away, and hopefully this new YouTube format works out for us.
We'll
see how this stuff does.
Yeah, we should mention that if anyone's watching on YouTube, this is our first time streaming on YouTube.
Normally we're on Twitch.
Yeah, which we are not right now, by the way.
Oh, it didn't?
No, it's only on YouTube, but
okay.
It just kind of wouldn't let me do both at the moment, so that's what it is right now. But yeah, so I think overall we got to make our way back. Revenant is the next movie we're doing. Keep an eye out for more leaks about Spider-Man No Way Home. I think we're either going to get another trailer eventually or, we're going to hear more rumors because there's a lot of like supporting actors who are getting interviewed from previous movies and, saying their piece. And Shang Chi, well, we said an 8.3.
0.3 out of 10.
8.3 out of 10. Worth a watch or two. Definitely a good Marvel movie. The dad is the coolest part. Okay? Be prepared for the badassery of this man. So yeah, I think that wraps it up.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll probably be streaming primarily on YouTube, maybe here on out if everything works out. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe the video, like and subscribe to our channel to see more videos about movie reviews, and maybe we can find some time to do some fun videos or something like that, and start getting some content rolling. But thank you all for listening. I can't see if anybody has listened on my end, but hopefully this video finds you well, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right. There's millions of them, Luca. All right.